couple of exorcists argue with each other on the road, and Guo ridicules them, thinking that the city is growing worse with such people in it. A biker passes him by and he makes a comment, but the biker comes back and Guo gets scared. He hides behind Wang, but learns that the biker is actually Chen with a new personality. Chen comes to school and starts acting like a weirdo, especially because he's not wearing a uniform. Guo asks him to take it easy because this isn't good for the school environment. But Chen says this is all because he's part of the exorcist team now. Wang asks Chen to look up, and the instructor Pan makes a scary appearance. She scolds Chen for acting strange despite having good grades, and then Sun also drops by to ask what's going on. The friends try to figure out a solution to Chen's difficulties, but cannot go to his dad for help, so they decide to bait the exorcists. They use Sun and her gorgeous good looks to tempt the exorcist to show their true nature. She walks into an alley looking weak and innocent, and the boys take off their jackets, so Wang prepares to teach them a lesson. However, the jackets are used to cover a puddle to help Sun cross through. Guo refuses to give in and says that the boys aren't helping a granny cross the road. Our heroes think that the exorcists will rob the granny, but then Chen shows up to help her. It turns out that the granny is actually a demon and she attacks Chen, so his teammates help him out. Guo realizes his mistake and helps the exorcist defeat the demon with ease. Now, both the groups agree on their goals because they want to take care of all the demons that have been invading the city recently. However, the exorcists refuse to accept Wang into their team because he looks thin and weak, and they can't guarantee his safety. Chen meets Wang later and says that he will promise to include him in the team. Then he goes on to explain how he became a disgrace to his family after Wang destroyed his sword. In a flashback, we see Chen getting attacked by a demon and the exorcists end up saving him from it. Now Chen goes back to his office with Wang, but sees the boys paying off the granny demon because they are all actually conspiring with the monster. Chen is heartbroken to see this and becomes bewitched after his stick is chopped off by his teammates. Wang doesn't like what's happened to his friend, so he decides to teach the exorcist team a lesson. He takes the broken stick and uses it to defeat all the demons and break down the exorcist office all within a matter of seconds. Now that he's done smashing the demons, Wang has to deal with Chen, who has lost all his mental awareness and has become possessed by a demon. Chen brutally attacks Wang, but our hero has to be careful not to kill his friend. He suddenly destroys the demon and acts like he's fainted in front of Chen to make him feel as if he has saved him. However, Chen is pretty confused to see the mess around him. The next day, one of Zhuo's men disguised as a property management employee checks up on a suspicious house. He is told to go away, so Zhuo asks his teammate to try another disguise. That doesn't work either, so Zhuo unleashes a bomb spell to break open the house. It turns out that there are multiple demons living here, and they attack Zhuo brutally like a toy. Luckily, Wang happens to be passing by, so he savagely defeats all the demons with ease. Zhuo's team comes to the scene to save their sensei, but notice that all the beasts have already been cleaned up. Zhuo takes all the credit for Wang's work, but doesn't know that he's being recorded by a camera monster. After getting a bandage from his assistant, Zhuo walks up to a cheering crowd that also includes Wang. He gives a speech on being a member of the 7-star squad and how he was inspired to save Shanghai from the demons. Zhuo also explains how he was able to stop the demon world from progressing into the real world through a cracked void. He takes all the credit for Wang's work in the demon house, but the lights go off, and then some surveillance footage is played to show what had actually happened to Zhuo when he was up against the demons. A mysterious woman watches on, and she is believed to be the culprit behind this. Everyone is confused as they learn that the demons were actually defeated by a lightning blast that was generated by Wang, who is in disguise. The news goes crazy, accusing Zhuo of being a fraud, and it causes problems everywhere. The public agitation angers Zhuo, and he demands to get to the bottom of this, but his boss tells him to go on a vacation, after which he also takes his badge and sword away. This is humiliating for Zhuo, but he puts on a brave face in front of his colleagues. This doesn't do much, as the squad members seem to enjoy their time without their boss. Zhuo has nothing to do now, but he spots a mysterious figure in the rain and goes after him. He is suddenly attacked by some demons and is about to be killed, but then Wang comes to the rescue once again. Zhuo learns that the overpowered hero has been manipulating his memories this whole time and feels like a useless puppet. Now Wang offers Zhuo a blue pill that can make the world forget what had happened the past couple of days. The other option is a red pill that can grant Zhuo his ascension, but he takes neither option because he wants to become a hero by himself. Zhuo leaves Songhai, and this works for Yoshiko, who is revealed to be the surveillance culprit from before. There is a school fest coming up, and Guo asks Chen who he wants to ask out as his date. Chen is thinking of Lin, but she drops some hot food on him on her way out. Guo laughs and reveals he's thinking about asking Yoshiko, much to Chen's surprise. However, Guo says that since no one really talks to Yoshiko, he has a fair shot. The boys get inspired to go beyond the ordinary, and Chen decides to ask Sun for the gala. As expected, he is left looking like a fool when Sun asks Wang out to the gala right in front of him. Guo and Chen are both rejected by the woman they want, and later bump into each other. What starts out as laughter eventually ends in pathetic crying. It's time for the gala, and Wang shows up in his costume, while Chen is stuck in traffic. Sun makes an announcement regarding the gala, and mentions that only couples are allowed to pass through the gate. She invites Wang via the VIP entrance, and tries to flirt with her lover boy. Sun eventually gets the courage to invite Wang into her home, as her parents have gone out. Our hero agrees, and Sun gets excited. But all her plans go to waste when she sees her grandpa at home. An awkward dinner follows as Grandpa asks Wang what his intentions are for his granddaughter. He isn't pleased when he learns that Wang's dad is a web writer, and gets pissed off when he hears Wang's academic progress. Grandpa wants to banish Wang from the house, but is reminded of the Sun family's values and calms down. He tells Wang that he must pass 3 trials if he is to become a part of the Sun family. It kicks off with a strength show at an amusement park. Grandpa goes first and tops the score, but laments that he could have done better if he was younger. It's Wang's turn now, but he doesn't want to embarrass the old geyser, so he lightly taps the hammer and still defeats him by a massive margin. Now the playboy Lord Thunder seduces his victim in the archery section, but Grandpa stops their romance and gets into an arrow shooting contest with Wang. Our hero manages to launch an arrow so fierce that it rotates around the world before hitting its target. Grandpa is made to feel like a loser and he gets angry, so he decides to go all out for the last trial, which is essentially a one-on-one battle with Wang. Sun is scared that her boyfriend will thrash her grandfather, but Wang acts composed and simply lifts the Sun family's sacred cudgel. Even Grandpa was never able to lift such a heavy item, so he and his men bow down to Wang to acknowledge his greatness. Sun and Wang finally spend some time together, but it turns out that the sacred cudgel has been stolen. Wang is the only one who can lift it, so Grandpa lands his suspicions on him. In a flashback to the morning, Yoshiko reluctantly wakes up to her alarm and learns about the High Saints' Day, which is the gala where Sun had invited Wang to come. She doesn't like that the Sun family is handling such a prestigious event and learns from her crow dad to make up for all her failures till now. Yoshiko tries to break into the celebrations, but is told that she cannot enter as a single person. She doesn't like this, but decides to go ahead and choose from some available candidates to accompany her. The story changes to game mode with various options for Yoshiko. She sees Lin, Guo, and Chen, who are available for the big show. Yoshiko decides to be a little spicy and chooses Lin as her companion to the show. Lin acts shy at first, but Yoshiko manages to convince her to give it a try. That's when Lin's uncle's son shows up and asks Yoshiko if she can give him a hand with the cooking preparations for the event. Yoshiko is upset to wash all these dirty dishes, but is amazed to see Lin's dedication to her work. It's time to chop some meat, and Yoshiko realizes that being a worker is no easy feat. She tries to get more information out of Lin, but then Uncle Sun sends her out to serve a giant tray of champagne. Yoshiko struggles to carry the champagne, but is eventually able to get the job done. The playboy Lord Thunder arrives and hits on her with some steamy lines. However, Yoshiko is in no condition to waste her time, so she quickly destroys the champagne tower and uses this distraction to escape the playboy. She takes Lin with her to change her dress as it gets wet from all the spilled champagne. It works on Yoshiko's favor as she gets inside the main building using this excuse. The villain uses this chance to get away from Lin and search for the cudgel. On her way, she feels an earthquake and goes to the room where Grandpa bows down to Wang. She spots the cudgel, and this is when she is believed to have taken it away. Back to the present, the 7-star members try to figure out what's going on with the cudgel, and then Lord Thunder declares Wang to be innocent because he was with the sun the entire time. After some deduction, Lord Thunder declares that an external force was able to shrink the size of the cudgel to a thread, which means that the holy item should still be there. This is not a very bright idea, and then Wang uses some common sense to suggest checking out the surveillance footage to simply spot who would have stolen the cudgel. The team goes through the footage, and that's when they see Yoshiko, who uses a spear to destroy the camera. Now we see the villain entering a chamber, and she is about to activate a dark force, along with all her other cult followers. Yoshiko is interrupted by Sun, who keeps calling her about the cudgel. She throws her phone away and gets back to her ritual, but she and her followers get disturbed by Guo and Chen, who have started rapping to some really loud music. The lyrics are a bit excessive, but they seem to do the trick and lure out Yoshiko. The thief blatantly denies stealing the cudgel, but her heroes call her out for being a liar. Yoshiko doesn't have time to deal with them, so she orders her goons to attack them. Chen sees the exorcist's team and realizes that they were working for Yoshiko the entire time. Our heroes are surrounded by the goons, and Yoshiko walks away, but Wang keeps confronting her about the cudgel. Yoshiko tries her best to ignore the overpowered hero and sends her demons after him, but Wang takes them down with ease and even slashes her dark scroll. However, this activates a portal, and the both of them are taken to a mysterious land which is later revealed to be a dormant volcano. Suddenly, a giant spider demon attacks the duo. However, Zuo magically appears and fights off the spider with his sword. He reveals that he was investigating Yoshiko after realizing that demons were being kidnapped by her men and being put inside the volcano. The demons would then starve and kill each other, thus leaving the sole survivor to become the Demon King. Yoshiko adds on that her force field was not strong enough to hold the Demon King, which was why she tried to seal the cudgel in the first place. However, she wasn't able to do so because it was too heavy. This confuses our heroes, but they decide to kill the Demon King anyway. At that very moment, the force field is broken, and the cudgel is brought into the volcano, thus causing it to erupt and wreak havoc. Chaos ensues, and then it is revealed that the real culprit is Froggy, who is seen holding onto the cudgel. A flashback shows Zuo chasing after a demon, and that he bumps into Froggy. Zuo asks him for help, but Froggy leads him away from the demon because he wants to help his own people. It turns out that Froggy has forgotten what it's like to be a demon, as he has lived in the human world for so long, but he still aspires to become the Demon King. Froggy thinks back to the time everyone ignored his own birthday in favor of Lin, and this was when he realized that he did not belong to this world. In a flashback, Froggy collapses in an alley due to weakness and is rescued by a fellow demon. This is when he decides to take action against the evil human race, and he motivates his fellow demons to get to work. That's when we learn that it was Froggy who had disguised himself as Lin and knocked out Yoshiko in order to get the cudgel. Back to the present, chaos resumes as Froggy plans to take over the world, but he gets scared like a chicken when Wang shows up. The other demons come to Froggy's rescue, but they are told to run away to save their lives. The Demon King knows that he doesn't stand a chance against Wang in battles, so he decides to get into a verbal fight with him by using 3 questions. Froggy starts off with a tricky math question, but Wang is able to solve it immediately without any hesitation. Froggy is shocked by Wang's genius, so he decides to switch to a volume and mass-related question. Wang summons celestial bodies to solve this riddle, but almost ends up destroying the human world, so Froggy gives up and awards him the winner. The demon dog is running out of options, but then he asks Wang what his birthday is. Wang takes time to answer this question, so Froggy transforms into his true frog body and attacks him. However, Wang easily beats him up without flinching a muscle. Froggy tries to reverse time again and again, but it's of no use as he keeps getting thrashed again and again. Froggy tries to change the game by turning Wang into a baby, but even then our hero thrashes him without any mercy. Now, Froggy tries to seal Wang within his body, and then they are both transported to a dream world. Wang finds Froggy crying over his current life, so he decides to give him some love. Realizing that he has no way of defeating Wang, Froggy asks for his fellow demons to be spared, so Wang creates a new world for them to live in. Froggy is pleased with this and asks to continue as Wang's dog. Now all the demons live in peace, and then Yoshiko has a romantic moment with Zuo. Wang returns Sun's cudgel, but it's too heavy for her, so she falls into her hero's arms. Like, share, and subscribe for more recaps. See you soon!